Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the stream. Tuesday stream. I think everything is pretty much a go. I gotta go ahead and share this link around, so give me a moment and I'll be right with you. Alright, I'm back. So let me pull up the screen on YouTube. Alright, so it's been a little bit. I've been able to put some ink down on some of these sketches that you guys saw before. But yeah, hope everyone's been doing well. Yeah, it's been some pretty good. I think, yeah, it's been really cold outside. It snowed I think it snowed again, and I was like, oh boy, let me jump on that as quickly as possible. Let me put on multiple coats and everything because I got sick, as you guys know from the previous stream. Was not doing well. I still feel a little bit sick, but I'm feeling a lot better at the same time. So, no real concerns. Make sure my microphone is actually on. I'm not here talking to myself. But yeah, feeling a lot better. Getting a lot more work done here and there. Been checking out this new show called, look, it's new to me. It's not Severance. Checked out season 2, episode 1 of that recently. I'm checking out the show called Silo, and it's pretty cool so far. Not completely finished with it, but been enjoying where the story and everything's kind of been going. So me and the wife probably gonna check out at least another episode tonight. So I know we don't want to like finish it too quickly, but I think we still want to like continue it. So we've been slowing down on it. You grab some water. So yeah, this is how this one is looking so far. I was able to put down some inks on everything and start working on the background. I usually go through and work on the character art first. When I'm like done with like the sketches and stuff, I'm like, all right, let me go ahead and start working on the character art and going back over it, making things work well, trying to get rid of any type of what do they call them again? Tangents and things of that nature. Trying to make my hands look as good as possible because I'm not that great or natural with my hands. I always have to do a lot of extra work just to make them work. So, but yeah, I like the way this one is turning out so far. Trying to just keep going, keep the energy flowing, and also do like small edits as I go. Try and make things land a little bit better. I really struggled with this third panel here. This one right here. Trying to make it work and whatnot, but I eventually got something that I was happy with. And I still got some things I definitely want to edit on it, like the edge of the hair here, which you guys can't tell what the heck I'm talking about. One moment. The edge of the hair on this side here. I want to add like a little something there. I also probably will continue this line here. Like have it like lead over here. And I want to make that a little bit funner as far as that type of shape. And I'll make the edge of the hair probably, actually I'll probably put it right here because his hair is long, but it's not like, not all of his, doesn't need to be all that, put it that way. Probably put a little bit of shadow. I could probably just be doing this, but I'm showing you guys. Put a little shadow here or something, kind of really push that shape, and that edge will be right there, along with a little bit of stuff right there, and that'll be how that works. And hopefully, it's just really easy to read. It's always what I'm trying to make. Have like some, not rules, but stuff I go for in my comic pages. Trying to make everything as easily readable, but also has some dynamicism and everything. So, let's go ahead and start putting in some of these details. Good thing about like having like a note layer is kind of like I can actually implement this stuff now, just the way it is for the most part. Just edit it and just switch things. What's your guys' favorite part of like the comic book making process, I wonder? For me, I would say actually it's storyboarding. But I feel like the real fulfilling part about doing comics is doing the inks for me. Like, I don't do a lot of detail work when it comes to doing toning or putting down values in grayscale. I don't do too much detail. But when it comes to like the actual finished line work, like that's when I feel like truly fulfilled by it, because it's like the storyboarding is kind of like the blueprint. It's like all the planning where everything's gonna be, you know, obviously the writing comes in, what everyone's gonna say, just maybe even little descriptions of what people are gonna do, how they're gonna do it, what they're gonna look like. But once you have all that, it's kind of like, okay, well, where do we go from there? And I don't know. I feel like inking feels really nice. Having like just seeing what the raw line work looks like, I guess. It's just nice. I know some people do not like inking though, at all. They kind of despise having to worry about line work. They kind of like the pencil lines that they have. And I totally understand that as well, because, well, pencil pencil doesn't feel permanent. It also feels like it immediately has a feeling of dimension to it, because it's usually not uh, immediately what is it called? It's not a all the way graphic black line, whereas though ink is that. Ink is that finish, complete black line. And oftentimes, you know, if you try to like, I guess, draw the way you use your, oh no, I would say if you actually did draw the way you use ink, probably get better with ink a lot faster. But a lot of people think that they need to ink like, I would say, someone else, or they try to mimic something else to it, and they think that they need to be perfect with their inks or a certain way, or they don't like how flat the ink is, right? The way that pens work, and they'll be like, oh, this tool is too smooth and too sharp, and this line is too dark and graphic on this white sheet of paper. So it feels harsh when they look at it, because not only that, like, your mistakes look harsh, you know, like your drawings look a little bit extra, you know, in the direction you don't want them to be. And a lot of people go back to just doing pencil. And I feel like what you should do is stop thinking about inking or making like line work. Just think of it like you're drawing with ink. Um, if you could think of it that way, then like you can kind of start accepting some of those lines you make, because it'll have a more natural feel, because you allowed yourself to make not necessarily a mistake, but just something you would naturally do. Um, One of the things I started doing recently is like, well, digital is a really big help, but it also is just too neat. Like, it's so easy to organize everything. So I just started allowing myself to work on certain layers where I won't be able to change things so easily, which sounds like the craziest thing, right? Usually you want to have everything on different and separate layers so you can edit and manipulate everything, and nothing is lost. But like, by being like that all the time with everything, it feels like nothing is perfect. Everything can be changed, and since everything can be changed, something about that just makes it feel like you can't really let loose with your drawing, and you can't even accept the the things that you want to do, that you want to put down like that. So I've changed the way I work a bit. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this, well, the things that are on this layer. Put the luminosity down. And that's what we got. And cool, I kind of get the effect I want. Yeah, I'm kind of missing a little bit there, but I think I can kind of see it. Okay, that's good. So I went back and I added details to this hand. I went ahead and finished off the earrings that they have in their ears. I need to jump to this layer and fix the shoe. Should be good enough. Yeah, I like that. Cool. Also, for anyone who doesn't know, I'm also streaming on Twitch. Uh, if you're lurking or whatever, thank you. Um, I don't have too many people there, so I would say definitely follow me. I'm trying to stream at least 2 times a week. My stream schedule technically right now is 7. It's like 7 to 8. I'm starting to think maybe if I can get up here a little bit earlier, I can start around 6:30 to about 8. I think that'll be a nice little pocket. Um, Shoot, maybe even eventually just 6 to 8, and then that'll be about 2 hours a week. Well, no, 2 hours of stream, which would be about 4 hours a week. Yeah, but yeah, make sure you guys follow, like, and subscribe, and all that good stuff. And the comic that I'm working on is called the Divinity. I haven't been posting the new pages of the Divinity for free on Webtoon and Tapas for a little bit, but I'm gonna start posting them probably in February again. The amount at the moment, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe people aren't so, like, they're not enjoying the 1 page updates I usually do every single week, or that I was doing. So I'll probably end up upping that amount since it's been some time. I'll probably end up going up to about like 2 pages at least, which is obviously double. But yeah, there's over 100, I think almost 120 pages for free for everybody to go check out and read. It is a comic book that is very much inspired by manga. It even reads from right to left, but it's definitely incorporating techniques from all the different comics that I like in general. So yeah, if you guys like action and adventure characters with really crazy hair and all that good stuff, check out the Divinity on Webtoon and Tapas for free. And if you guys want to support, which I'm kind of sort of thinking of making into like a tip jar. I'm not updating enough on Patreon, honestly, but through these streams you guys can see the amount of effort I put into producing the pages and making them look the way they look. You guys can throw me whatever you want over onto Patreon if you'd like. I have, obviously, like I have a free tier. I have like a $2 tier, and it goes up from there. But you guys can pay whatever you want. All right, cool. Get back to this. I have an idea. It's just another thing. This isn't even supposed to be here because it's not with these pages, so I need to zoom out. Alright, those are in there. So I started working on stuff over here, and I want to do something different with his arm. Let me turn back on the sketch layer. I think I'm going to do something a little different with his arm. So I actually don't want him to be punching here. I want him to kind of try and grab her. So it's like a feint into a grab. And I'm going to change this hand here into another hand that will actually look more like it's trying to grab her. And then we'll go from there. I recently heard about what happened with this comic book news stuff. So if you don't know, I don't know much with comic book news, honestly. But anyway, there's this distributor for American, comics in general, I guess, in the in the West called Diamond, and they are going into a form of bankruptcy. And I hear that they had a monopoly on the business for a bit. Um, Going from that, I learned more about things that are happening in the direct market as far as like how variant covers kind of work. And I was just like, I was a little bit like, not shocked, but I guess puzzled, I guess. Because from what I hear, and correct me in the comments if you guys have anything to say about it, but so with variant covers, when it comes to I guess the big name artists or the comic cover that's gonna have the most production, you telling me that the comic book shops can't order that book unless they meet a certain quota of the regular books that they order? And then once they have met that quota, they buy that book, and then they sell that book for like $70, um, to obviously the consumer, and that helps them, I guess, meet their bottom line of what they need to actually make. That sounds very similar to um, back in the day, 100 years ago. Because I'm old, right? I'm not really old, but 100 bajillion years ago. When I was playing like Yu-Gi-Oh, at locals, that's the type of system that was like going on with that, where you had people at the tournament. You pay to be in the tournament, and if you won, they would give you a box of cards. And usually, if you had extra money, you would just go out your way to buy extra boxes of cards. I've seen people do this. A box of cards would usually cost, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around $70. 65 $70 for a box of cards. I've seen people win a tournament, win a box, and then they would take money out their own pocket and buy two more boxes. Why? Because they were trying to find or have a bigger possibility of finding a really expensive card, a really holographic, rare card. And what they would do is they would open them right there, um, in the store, and then the person who owned the store would usually be paying very close attention to what they pulled, because if they pulled it in front of them, they knew that a lot of these cards, a lot of those cards back in the day weren't necessarily the greatest cards to play with, but they were definitely great for if you wanted to like collect that, or if you wanted to like sell it to someone who wanted to collect it. So that's what the clerk would do. He would pay attention, and then if you pulled that card, it would be like, hey, I will give you the chance to open up another box of cards, or I will literally pay you like money. Usually they didn't want to usually pay people. They'd rather just give you the chance to open up another pack of cards, a whole box of cards. Why? Because like they knew that those super rare cards was worth more than that whole box of cards, because you know it was a chance type thing, and they knew if they had that card, they could go sell that joint on an eBay, or sell it to someone else or whatever, and be able to actually make more money than what they paid for a box of those cards. It's not like scamming, but it is like a form of like a collector mentality type thing. And I feel like, I wonder how much of the sales of the comic book industry is being, you know, uh, projected upwards from just that collector mentality, I guess. Um, because it's like, are people even reading these books, or are they just buying the covers because they like the art? You know, and I've seen this. I love comics as well, but I also don't like that aspect of it, where you basically see that it's basically like a lot of people are like, yo, I want this comic book cover attached to this comic, and they buy it. They're not really interested in like buying it for the story. They're trying to buy it to collect, and they just put that joint in a plastic, which is exactly what you do with a Yu-Gi-Oh card. You just pop it into a protective piece of plastic, and then right out of, like, you take it out of the plastic, see what it is, pop it right into a plastic sleeve. It's just like comics, and then you list it if you want to sell it, or you trade it. You don't trade it anymore, you sell it. And I'm just like, wow, it's just like how the card collectible stuff worked. um and I don't know, something about that feels weird. It also made me think about how the card collectibles are cooler in a way, because technically it's the same book with like a different cover. And I started thinking, like, well, what would make those variant cover books more interesting or more valuable to me to buy them, right? Now, I learned later that there's this book called Ultra Mega, and Ultra Mega has like 70 pages of like comic pages in there. The usual comic book issue is around 22 or so pages, right? Somewhere around there. So Ultra Mega coming out around like 67, around 70 pages. I'm thinking to myself, that's like 3 issues for what, the price of $8. I'm like, well, I didn't know that at the time. I always thought when I saw it, like, why would I pay $8 for this book when I don't even want to pay, like, sometimes even $5 for some of these books that, I don't know if I'll like or not, because obviously I can't check them out. They're in plastic. But eventually, I'm definitely going to go buy them eventually. But I was buying any Transformers joints, and I wish I had started buying them when it first drops. I wasn't paying enough attention to what Daniel Warren Johnson was working on. Then he switched off. It's still cool. I actually like the new artwork as well. So, but anyway, yeah. So I was like, yo, $8 for like a book that I don't know if I'll like, and also has I was expecting it to only have around 20 something pages. So I learned later that it has a large amount of pages, a lot more. And I was like, what would make this whole, also segue also into Red Band, right? Marvel was doing this thing called Red Band, which I bought a couple issues or 3 issues, I believe, of like the Blade joint. Blade. I forget the name of it right now, but doesn't matter, right? It's like Blood on, no, it's something. I forget the name of during the run, but anyway, Blood Covenant, I believe. Anyway, I bought that, and I think you pay what, $1 or 2 more, or something like that, for the Red Band joint, because I heard about it because of the Wolverine story that they had going on with Greg Capullo. And they were basically like, oh, you get more content, you get more story in here, and you get more blood. Like so the Red Band is supposed to represent that you're gonna get more mature content in here that they cut away from the usual one that they're putting on the market, which you pay that extra $1 or so for. And I was like, if you were to combine the extra, more mature content with extra story pages up to like what they're doing for Ultra Mega, give me a book that's around 70 pages that has extra story and extra blood and or mature violence or other themes, right? And make it $70. You can give me, variant cover, whatever, or you should just give me a different cover because I'm buying the Red Band version of it, and make that joint $8. Why would I not buy that? That's what I'm thinking. Why would I not buy that? You're giving me a 22-page book it's gonna come out like every month or so, whatever, right? I'm gonna pay about $5 for that book. I don't know if I'll like it or not. And then I'm going to get it, I'm going to read it, and if I don't like it, or if I do like it, I'm going to put it in a box, right? Like all the other comic issues I'm going to buy. But if I get the chance, if you take that same issue and you telling me there's gonna be 20 pages full of a fight scene, 20 pages of action, what? They're gonna be fighting for 20 extra pages? Like, yeah, there was a fight, whole 20 plus pages in this joint. And also, if we wanted to, we could go into mature content stuff with these characters, as far as them obviously being adults and them getting into this and that. We can get more into these thriller type, scenarios or spies or whatever else you can imagine, right? In these stories, and then I get so much more for the money that I want. And yeah, the only trade off would be obviously if you're giving me a book that's around 70 pages, it's definitely probably not going to come out every single month. Right? That's the only trade off. But for me, as a person who really wants to buy, collect, or even enjoy that book, I know I'm going to enjoy the book because I'm getting so much more for what I'm paying for. And the artwork is going to be great. And I'm assuming I'm gonna get maybe 4 books a year. But like, who cares? 4 books a year of like something that high quality. Geez, you can imagine, right? Like 70 again, that's 140 pages. Another 140 pages, that is 280. 280 pages, that's pretty good, right? Shoot, with just what is that? With just like, if you were to like price it out, not price it out, if you were to take it like just 3 books, how much would that actually be? It's 210 pages. 210 pages a book. You drop a volume of this joint, and every three books you get a volume. You could just start dropping them joints, and then as they do the next couple rounds, you just do it again. And it just always collects 3 issues. But 3 issues will be 70 pages. I don't know. Sounds like a good idea to me. Sounds better for my wallet. Sounds better for me as like, I don't know. I just think I'll be more interested in that idea. I think it'd be nice. Because I just don't believe, like, it just all feels like, not gaslighting, but it feels kind of like, what's the point? They're not going to give you a cool fight scene in a lot of these Western comics. I haven't seen enough. I would say I've seen some here and there, but like obviously your currency is your page count. So if you don't have anything but those 20 to 22 pages, it's only going to be plot relevant. It's not going to be more engaging when it comes to um action or you know you know the other mature themes or whatever, right? So it's like if you're gonna try and say, oh, red band, it's like, but you only gave me 2 extra pages of what? Like, what is it possibly going to be? Here Wolverine slashed through this guy's head, and it's like, okay, this is why you want to pay the extra dollar. It's like, not really. It's not really that cool to me. I don't know. I think I've seen a lot of other comics at this point, and you got to do a little better than that. You got to do something where I can tell like the artist got to really like push this one or something. But where things are right now, I don't mind. I just think that people aren't really being allowed to express themselves with the little that they are able to kind of put behind these things, I guess. And it makes me think of Ultra Mega a bit because I'm like, I don't love that guy's art style. It's growing on me more and more. I do think it's really cool, but something about it always felt more mature. Something about it. It has a sophistication to it, and it's growing on me. But I'm more interested in the amount of like work they put into it, the amount of storytelling that went into what they made, and I'm just like, that's the cool shit to me. So I wanna read it. I haven't actually read it. Um, Now I know it's gonna be difficult to get in the store because I think it's popular enough. It's quite popular. Um, so I definitely want to check it out when I get a chance, but I haven't been to the comic book store in a while, and I'm probably not gonna be there for like the next couple months. So whenever I get there, I will get there. Trying to not make a easy tangent here. But anyway, um, comics are cool. I just want to see more cool comics using all types of cool techniques and whatnot to tell the story. Um, it just will be nice. I think I want to change the orientation of this a bit. Make it look a little bit more dynamic, I guess. Kind of going up at a certain angle. Yeah, I often like run away from hands for a bit. Like I'll do everything else and like come back to the hand and be like, okay, like we'll come back to you. Sorry for being a little quiet. Trying to focus on getting these lines a little better here and there. It's funny, I'm trying to like not overthink my art too much anymore. I think the funniest part about comic book art is no matter how good it looks, um, people aren't gonna look at it that long. The art is like, I guess, a means to an end, and people usually only gonna look at that for, you know, a couple seconds. So that means like there's other aspects of the art you should like think about, I guess. But then I also think about like, I always try to be a little bit of a contrarian and be like, well, that's kind of true, but also depends on how amazing the series is for someone else. That's what you can't predict. Um, if it's like, okay, yeah, the artwork the for your comic will only be looked at for like a second, but like if it means something to them, they'll come back to it, and those are the seconds you can't easily count. You don't know how many times they're gonna come back to that moment that they liked, that they like the character doing this, or they like when when X, Y, and Z did that, whatever it is, because that's how it is for your favorite series. You're gonna come back to it, start reading it again, start checking out that moment again, or whatever volume you end up buying that you loved. You can't really predict that, but for the most part, you can kind of just say, yeah, like that's true, but also, I guess, know where to place certain aspects, certain moments. You never know what's gonna hit for other people. You can just kind of try and like make something good, and I don't know. That's my thing. Try to make something good, whatever I think good is, and it's up to other people to decide if it's great. I feel like you can try to sit down and go, okay, I want to make something great, but I don't really think you can actually do it, because what's great for everybody's got a different definition of what's great, and you just don't know what moments you're gonna make that are gonna really hit for other people unless they tell you. And even then, there are still probably parts that you worked on that work for other people. So I would just say try to just make something relatable that is just good. Like bare minimum. Make good, right? Make it good. And then from there, the rest of the world will decide if you created something great. That's kind of how I feel about it. Because everybody's got shortcomings, you know? Everyone's gonna falter on different stuff. Um, so, don't think too hard about everything. Okay. All right. Trying to think. Do I wanna do these ones? Yeah, definitely might be putting down too many lines, but I'm having fun putting down the lines, so that's something. Alright, that's enough lines on that. I think I'll also do something with this. I think I'll make sure to make the hair completely black here. That way it's not distracting at all. Which means I'll lose, I guess, the hair, but that's fine because it's not the focal point. Alright. Let's go ahead and add a little bit here. Like I made that a little bit too big there. It's a little better. Cool. Alright. Alright, cool. I'm kind of start on this hand a bit. Oh, after this. Alright. for the most part. Pop that a little forward there. Right, can't see that. Okay. Alright, the hand. Pretty cool. I don't hate it. It's it has some personality. Though I don't perfectly love it. There's definitely some parts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yo, it's got 6 fingers. Oh no. Wait, I'll just get rid of this one. I kind of like where it's kind of posturing. Like how it's kind of posturing. It's probably something I didn't notice at all with I was kind of sketching. But anyway, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we'll just do that. Kind of. I don't love it, but I don't hate it either. Yeah. We'll go with that. Also, if the arm is like this, kind of do that, and then I can kind of aim like what up here, maybe, and then I can kind of do like that, little shadow, other part of the arm. Yeah, I like that. All right, kind of put more shadows or line weights on it. Nice. It looks like a hand. It looks kind of creepy though. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like something about it. Something about that hand looks kind of creepy. Something about it looks creepy and correct at the same time. Don't want to fuss with it too much. Gotta keep going. Can't wait to get down here because I really want to do some work down here. These last two panels here, from looking at my storyboards, I don't like them perfectly, so I know I want to switch some things there. The panel up here, I know it's pretty, I like the feeling of it. I think there's other things I want to push there, so I like the ideas I have there visually for what's going on. These ones down here, I kind of like this panel. Disregard this, everyone. Oh boy. So yeah, how y'all doing for real? Like, thanks for checking out the stream. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, cool. but but yeah, I like this panel. I like some of the composition of it and everything. We got Mr. Makim here, with his apple head, and and he's standing and he has the cloak on and everything, and Samara is here, and she is, she knows that he can't hear her, so she's probably talking a lot of crap, you know. And we got the cloak from where Halo threw it, probably still in disbelief that she was thrown, like, oh my god, this dude sucks. Like, yeah, like he really threw me. But this one, it's kind of a flip. I know that these are the girls on the other side, and they're kind of looking at it from the perspective of seeing, like, Tara, over here fight Halo over here, and they're kind of talking about, I guess, the situation, like, as in what's going on, how well certain people are doing. Oh, that was interesting. They're kind of giving commentary on the fight. Maybe I also have Makim kind of comment on the fight as well. And then I'll have, like, Samara not speaking about the fight. She's kind of thinking about something else. But yeah, like where these are going. Actually know that I'm probably gonna. Where's this? Here. I guess I want this arm to move here a bit. So that's what I'll do, just a little bit. And I'll just fill this part in. And, that kind of looks kind of I want it to look. Something like that. Putting a little bit too much energy into the hand. The more detail you end up putting on any shot, the longer people are kind of incentivized to look at it. The less detail you put, the more they will only look at it for a smaller amount of time. So that's something I'm still trying to master. Definitely when it comes to, like, action scenes and stuff like that. That's one of the best skills to have or to understand how to use, is kind of like how to make someone's eye linger on a picture, and then also when to force them to, like, go further, like just go look at the other parts of the sequence. even when they come back to these things, I hope that I still incentivize them to kind of move on a bit faster. So that's good. Alright, so for the most part, kind of got what I wanted to get on stream a little bit. Kind of got to talk to people a little bit. And I know I'm going to be changing around Halo's hand orientations here and there, because he technically cannot punch right now, so he needs to be doing something else. His punching is not allowed right now for him. So feints are fine, you know, grabs are fine, kicks, all the other things, but he's not allowed to punch right now. I really like this panel. Really feel like I did a little something with that one, with this one. It's another thing I have to be... Actually, no, that makes sense. So we're going left arm. That's funny. It's like an action reaction immediately. So he's gonna throw his left arm forward with, I'm gonna change his hands being open. I think I also want to have it where, I'm not on the same layer, right? I'm gonna probably have it where, like, we have it where his hand is gonna go like this, and so we can see that it's not a punch. This type of thing. And I guess I want to try and, I guess, force the movement a bit like that. I'll probably change her arm to instead of obviously being, you guys can't see that, to be like this, I'm gonna change it to up like that. That way it kind of feels more like a clap, I guess. Just kind of playful in a way. And of course she notices that. She tries to grab his hand here. Which I guess I should like move it a little bit down. She tries to like grab here. He pulls away. So I'm gonna have him like pull away. So I'll probably add some lines to kind of go from here. I'm gonna have his hand. something like that. Oh boy, I'm doing that on this layer? You gotta be a little smarter. So I knew something was up. I wasn't paying enough attention. But, geez, imagine me being like, alright guys, let's stream. You know, I leave, I save, and then I notice, oh no! You know, that'd been horrible. But, gonna have it where you have, you know, a little, he pulled away. You're gonna be able to use, I'm gonna be able to use like actually I could like do like multiple straights, honestly. Have his hand here. Something like that. Yeah. Gotta actually make sure that it's well thought through here. Like this, maybe. Which is really funny, because her head is right there. So basically, has that motion of being pulled away while he ducks underneath. So that's like action 1. So you'd be like, action 1. Wow, that's not what I wanted. Action 1 here is he pulls away. Action 2 is, well, obviously, this is a part of action 1. Action 2 is, you know, she begins to punch. Action 3 is he's already ducked and gone around. And I guess technically the next part will be he's setting up for what seems to be a punch. But again, he's not allowed to do that. So I'm going to change his hand to be like this. Which should set up for the next shot, which should be something like that. Which is going to get, obviously, here knocked away. That's what that is, basically. Because her other hand is out of shot, so that's why it works, in my opinion. Also, I'm trying to make sure I consistently get you to use your eyes a certain way. Come in the shot at the top. Here's the action here. Probably gonna use some dialogue as we go down. Make sure, I always try to make sure I don't put like a dialogue bubble here, because that means you're just gonna end up looking at this next. So you gotta put it in the air. So I feel like, alright, well, if you trail it, you'd be like 1, 2, and then maybe end up like here. That way, like, you can kind of set it up where, again, these are the 2 top ones, and then you end up at the lower joint, which means you would kind of do like this, which means you would end up here. That way you'd be able to still, like, get someone to read it properly. But yeah, we have that. He's ducking. I'll put a little shadow probably right there. I have to do some things with him as well. Glad I made a new layer. We have her right here, looking, noticing the hand. I'm probably gonna do another cool trick where you can put reflection on the eye. And then you get the knock away. We get more time to breathe right there, but kind of take in, location and everything a little bit at a time. But anyway, that's kind of what I've got planned for this page, and then after that we've got, I believe, 5 more pages to go, and something like 9, maybe 10 more days. So I think I can get the visuals done. I hope I can get the visuals done. I'm gonna try my best to get the visuals done. So yeah, thanks so much everyone for coming through, checking out the stream. Very much appreciate it. I know that it's been a little bit. It's not actually been too bad. I kind of did well with showing up again properly, I guess. When I said I was going to. Thinking about starting the stream a bit earlier. That way maybe more people have a chance to come through. Maybe it's too late sometimes for some people. I understand that. What else would I like to say? The next stream will be on Saturday. Saturday at probably 6:30 to 8 p.m. on, well, Saturday, Eastern Standard Time, right? Again, this comic is called The Divinity. If you guys like action, adventure, if you like martial arts, you like characters who do cool things, who fight with martial arts, and have some type of way, some special abilities, some sort of items that they're using with interesting abilities. If you like elements, if you like, all those types of things, definitely give it a try. It's a comic that I basically make all entirely on my own, like many others. I post on Webtoon and Tapas at the moment for the free material, and I'll be posting more exclusive material over on my Patreon sometime next month. So be on the lookout for that. I will be also making more videos outside of just streams so you guys can see more things that I'm working on, and I'll tell you guys more of what's up. So if I update the Patreon and change anything, there'll be news on all these things going forward. What else can I say? If anyone, of course, no one is here, right? If anyone likes that idea in the comic book industry, try it out. I think that'll be amazing, honestly. I guess the problem with that, see, I'm already feeling passionate about it. I guess the problem with that is there's less books a year, right? If you got 12 books coming out a year that people can gamble on that they don't know if they're going to like, versus, including variant covers, right? Versus something that's only going to come out 4, maybe 5 times a year, but it's going to have 70 pages. If your fan base ends up liking that book, they're paying more per book anyway. And also, there's just no reason not to buy those things, because the art quality is probably going to be better. The storytelling is probably going to be just as good as anything else, if not better. And the fan base is going to be more sated because they're getting way more comic book pages from an artist who's dedicating so much effort to making sure that those are good in each package. And if there are, what are they called? Different variant. If there are variant covers, that's fine. But I would say even more people are gonna just want the standard one. But unless they get some crazy artist on it, I don't know. I feel like more if this person has a fan base, and they already have like the storytelling chops they need, and they want to create their own characters and everything, I feel like Image Comics did their thing, allowing that dude to drop 70 pages an issue. And actually, when I get a chance, I'm gonna buy those. I also want to buy the whole books for Transformers. I don't all the time feel like a lot of Western comics feel fun to read. Shoot, and if you feel like, hey, maybe I got the list that this guy, he might like these things, throw what you have in the comment section. I will check them out. I'll actually check them out, and I'll get back to you. I'll literally come back in the stream and tell you guys if I liked any suggestion. But a lot of the times I look at some of the stuff in in the Western comics, I'm like, man, a lot of this stuff don't feel very fun to read. Characters don't really have a certain oomph to them, I guess. I feel kind of like I can always feel that the writer and the artist, whoever, didn't have enough time for their page count, and they have to always push that plot. And that's not bad. You know, if the plot is good, plot is good. But the characters feel boring. The way they move, how they do stuff, they don't really do things that are fun on the page. It's just, I don't know how to explain it. It feels a little less engaging. And there's a lot of techniques out there in comics as a whole. And sometimes I see them and I'm like, this is awesome, you know, and I like this. But sometimes I can't put my finger on what it is about what they did versus what other books did. It's a combination of a lot of separate things, marketing, the story as a whole from start to finish, you know, how much happened, what happened, how was it shown to me, all those things, expressions, dynamic poses, lighting. There's so many different areas where, you know, all this comes to a head, and I just kind of, I guess it comes down to, outside of just the plot, how does that character move specifically on the page? Like what's their personality on screen essentially? How do they choose to go about doing the plot? What's interesting about their move set? What's interesting about how they move, how they engage with other characters, how they express themselves, you know, how they carry themselves, how they wear what they wear, how they do what they do. Those types of things, you know. All that is just, sometimes it feels like there's not enough personality in the characters. There's just moving pieces on the board going towards a plot. And since everyone has to be, what's the word? Every character seems to has to be like very good at their job, quote unquote, in their job. I'm a detective, or I'm really good at, you know, assassination, or I'm really good at fighting. And it's like, yo, if everyone here is, dang, what's the word? It starts with a C. It's not confident. It's a, I'm gonna get it. What's the word? What's the word, chat? Not consistent. It's a C word. What is the word? Competent. That's the word. If everyone here is competent at their job, then that means that the only way that the plot doesn't happen is if the writer makes it not happen. Do you get how that feels like so, like, possibly boring? I can't even blame it on, like, you basically have to, like, the only way things don't go the way they're supposed to go is because they had to make that other character more competent than that other guy. And it's like, that means that there was no reason for the main person to not accomplish that goal. It just so happens that the other guy, he's even more competent at his job. And then it's like, ooh, you know, and it's just like, what if what if the main character or whoever hung with someone, you know, who was also a main-ish type character, who also has similar abilities. They just aren't as competent. And just by them just not being as competent, you could write more stuff that's more interesting, more fun. A lot of this stuff feels so, it's got to be so serious, so end of the world, and this, that, and the third. And it's like, okay, cool. And then it's like, okay, well, I don't need the character to be like an idiot. I just want them to be more oblivious to things. Like, what if there was a character who, they see like a character who's like a secret, I don't know, he's a secret hero. um, and they don't believe in that person who who's doing this superhero stuff, right? They believe they're all faking it, right? So since they don't take what they're doing seriously, they believe it's like make believe or whatever, right? So they don't believe in all the traps or the possible things that there can happen. So it's just like, oh, we're playing around. We're like playing pretend right now. So this character could just be like along for the ride, being in dangerous scenarios, but not realizing just how dangerous everything actually is, while being protected by this character who is a secret hero, who has to. The joke is they have to still keep it a secret, while also doing it, making it make believe for that character who needs it to be make believe. Because if they don't, they're gonna freak out, and they're not gonna. That's the problem. They don't want them to freak out because if they freak out, something bad happens. That would be that would be so much more interesting than the usual stuff that I see, and it will show character, it will show some form of growth, it will show some stakes there. You get a dynamic duo interaction here going. I don't know. You get a lot from that because a lot of the adult characters, they're so perfect, they're so competent at what they do that they become so boring. They just become a plot device because how can they fail when they've got years of training on this whatever the scenario is, you know? So anyway, those are my thoughts. I love comics. I'm still always looking for more to check out. Please check out my comic, The Divinity, on Webtoon and Tapas. It is read from right to left. Action adventure, kind of like a shonen story or whatever. I'm working on it on stream with you guys every now and then. The next stream is. Let me make sure I look at the little joint. Next stream is Saturday, which is the 25th. Saturday the 25th at 6:30 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over on my Twitch and YouTube at the same time. Yeah. So make sure you guys are there to check that out. I appreciate everyone, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.